this other story that we've been watching. Former FBI Director James Comey, he's now under investigation over a social media post. What more can you tell us about that one?
Yeah, that's right, Craig. In a now deleted Instagram post, Comey, who you remember was fired by Trump in 2017 and later became a prominent Trump critic, posted a picture of shells on the beach forming the numbers 8647. 86 can be slang for remove, 47 a common reference to Trump, the 47th president. Some of the president's supporters took it to mean that Comey was calling for President Trump's assassination. Comey, after taking the post down, said he didn't understand what the numbers meant and that he doesn't support violence against anyone. But meanwhile, the Secret Service says they take posts like this seriously and they're investigating.
We were walking back towards the road and we saw in the sand someone had arranged shells with numbers. And Patrice, my wife, said, "Why would someone put an address in the sand?" And I said, "I don't know." And we stood over it and I said, "I think it's some kind of like political message." And then she said, "You should take a picture of that." And I did.
Comey was then asked if he had any regrets about posting the photo.
Well, I regret the distraction and the controversy around it. But again, it's hard to have regret about something that even in hindsight looks to me to be totally innocent. I was a grandfather and an author wearing, sweaters and jeans. And then I went for a walk on the beach and posted a silly picture of shells that I thought was a clever way to express a political viewpoint. And actually, I still think it is. The shells were the same color for each of the letters, so different colors for the letters. It took a lot of work. Somebody with artistic flair did that, and I have a hard time believing it was anybody with a dark intention.
Guys, it's so obvious that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. If you don't know, let me inform you about what happened. Caitlin Clark committed a hard foul on Angel Reese as she was wide open for a free, easy layup.
RG3 called what Angel Reese did hate. He said you could see the hate on her face for Caitlin Clark. I'm not really sure when we moved in to being able to read the expressions of a person and know their intent, know their character, know their perspective. But he does understand hate because I think he also understands the hate of self. And so now, though, when RG3 jumps on to the hate train or to the angry train, it now follows along with what we saw from Keith Olbermann, what we saw from Dave Portnoy as they poured on to Angel Reese to make her the villain in Caitlin Clark's heroic or hero story. Right. The one thing we know about RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what Black women have to endure in this country, about what young Black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlin Clark's rise and ascension into stardom.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy RG3, and I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys because there's been a lot of buzz, a lot of conversations about my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, which was purely based in basketball. But I think all of you know there's a line in life that you just simply don't cross. Wives and children are always off limits. And Ryan Clark has sprinted past that line.
In 2017, during President Trump's first term, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was passed. This bill dramatically lowered taxes for millions of Americans. However, many provisions from this act are set to expire in 2025. Now, Republicans are rushing to get a new bill passed to extend the TCJA and other significant tax changes. Today, I'm going to be breaking down everything that you need to know about Trump's new bill called the Big Beautiful Bill.
We on now, they respect us cause we on now, money up, run the whole town, don't we? This power money can't slow down, money won't slow down. Ooh, we doing a lot. Why they party? I'm in here grinding, money I'm stacking, why they rock diamonds? I can't relate to them, ain't my chick calming. I set a goal for me 2 or 3 commas. 7 figures, 8 figures to 9 figures. On a slow pace to get rich quick. Same time we just think different. Cause when you make it, it hit different.
What it do, y'all? It's your partner Dale back in the saddle again for another edition of the Counter Move podcast, guys. Here on Thursday, guys, at evening. Thank you so much for for kicking it with your partner. If you could do me a favor, guys, share, like, and subscribe. And if you could, guys, there's a little bell, right, on either platform that you're on. That just click on it, guys, or follow me on TikTok, whatever it may be. This alerts you that when I come live, you can come kick with me, guys. But guys, this is gonna be a really good one, a good topic, guys. Today, we're gonna get into this thing, guys. All right, here are the topics for today's Accountable Podcast. All right, guys, and I want you to chime in and I want you to give me thoughts. All right, here we go. Oh, hold on one second. This is here we go. All right, number one. Let me get rid of this thing. My bad. Number one, guys. Was FBI James Comey exposed with this 86-47 thing in the sand? We're going to talk about all that, guys. And we're going to actually hear a response from the sitting FBI Director, Kash Patel. Yes, sir. Number two, the RG3 and Ryan Clark blow up over Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Man, he got a little spicy, man. But I like the way Ryan Clark came back and handled this thing, man. Kudos to Ryan Clark. Number three, guys. Trump's big, beautiful tax bill. We're going to talk about what's in the bill and how it can affect you, not only from a consumer standpoint, but also from a business standpoint, guys. And lastly, I got to talk about cryptocurrency, guys, and how, and I believe that it's going to it could drive down mortgage rates, guys, faster than you think, guys. So let's dive into this topic for today, guys. The first thing we're going to dive into is old James Comey, guys, the former FBI Director James Comey. He's been in the news a little bit, really a lot, because of some comments he actually made concerning some shells in the sand. And they caught not only the news attention, but also the Secret Service attention as well also. So let's go ahead and dive into this James Comey situation, dive into it, guys, and see what's really going down. Because James Comey is not in, he's not in I don't think he's in any trouble, but he is, it got a little spicy for him a little bit, guys. So let's dive in this real quickly, guys, and see what's going on. Let's get it in. Here we go.
This other story that we've been watching, former FBI Director James Comey, he's now under investigation over a social media post. What more can you tell us about that one?
Yeah, that's right, Craig. In a now deleted Instagram post, Comey, who you remember was fired by Trump in 2017 and later became a prominent Trump critic, posted a picture of shells on the beach forming the numbers 86-47. 86 can be slang for remove, 47, a common reference to Trump, the 47th president. Some of the president's supporters took it to mean that Comey was calling for President Trump's assassination. Wow. Comey, after taking the post down, said he didn't understand what the numbers meant and that he doesn't support violence against anyone. But meanwhile, the Secret Service says they take posts like this seriously and they're investigating. Craig?
All right. Garrett Hick traveling with the president there now.
So, guys, it's reported that, that Secret Service is taking this extremely serious. This is not nothing they're playing with at all, guys. They are like, nah, we ain't feeling this one at all. And so, hey, again, it's not looking too well initially for James Comey. Now, he does have a book coming out. He may be already out, guys. So that's kind of, it was good PR for him. Great PR for him, because his book was coming out. So now everybody's talking about his book. And so with that being stated, guys, it's interesting. But let's go ahead and get some reaction from some individuals concerning, if there's something of a concerning what he actually talked about. All right. Let's go over here. I don't know what's going on with my computer. My computer's moving extremely slowly today, guys. I'm sorry. Let's go over to Fox real fast, guys. Fox is going to give their little thoughts or process on what's going on. And then we're gonna go right over to the sitting FBI Director, Kash Patel. He's gonna talk about a little bit as well. So let's go on and see what Fox talk about. Here we go.
All right. Okay, this story, it's sparking a wave of anger. James Comey, our former FBI director, posted on Instagram something that many are interpreting as a call for violence on the president. Look at this. The caption reads, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk." And it says 86-47.
Wow.
So this is what the former director is saying in response to this. It literally makes no sense, but here it is. I posted earlier a picture of some shells I saw today on a beach walk, which I assume were a political message. I didn't realize some folks associated those numbers with violence. It's never occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, so I took the post down. So what political message did you think it represented?
Just in case you don't know, most people do. In the dictionary, it defines 86 as slang for to throw out, to get rid of, and to refuse service to. A lot of restaurants use this. When I was a waitress, they would put 86 green beans on the chalkboard, so you knew we were out of it.
But when it comes to law enforcement, a lot of times 86 means death.
That's right.
Kill him by 86 to him, he's dead. So we thought the head of the FBI has to know when 86 can be used. Why would you post that? Number one, who cares what James Comey thinks? All he spends his time on the beach. I'm wondering, did he do that rock for me?
Right.
Well, guys, real talk. This was a PR move for James Comey, and it was actually it's kind of brilliant. He had a book coming out. You know what I'm saying? Book coming out. You know, he needed to get some pub because of the fact that he gets when it comes to books, you get a signing bonus up front, and also you have to sell a number of books. And so, the fastest thing for you to do is to create controversy. Which him being the former FBI director, he knows a lot about that when it comes to the news and how they can kind of control the news. To be honest with you, but this is a great PR stunt for him. I got to give it to him. Do I agree with him? No, I don't at all. This was terrible. This was terrible right here because of the fact you don't do that at all. But what I will say is, it was a PR move that actually may have worked out well for him fiscally. All right, but now let's go. Now he had an explanation concerning what went down. So again, I believe in giving people their time to talk about it and say, "Hey, man, explain thyself. What actually happened here, big dog?" So here is James Comey on MSNBC, right, talking about this very situation. Here we go.
We were walking on the beach. We went to the beach to prepare for this week, which was the launch of my book, and to think about the book and to prepare to answer questions about it. And we were walking back towards the road, and we saw in the sand someone had arranged shells with numbers. And Patrice, my wife, said, "Why would someone put an address in the sand?" And I said, "I don't know." And we stood over it, and I said, "I think it's some kind of like political message." And she said, 86, when I was a server, she did a lot of work in restaurants, meant to remove an item from the menu when you ran out of ingredients. And I said, well, to me, as a kid, it always meant to leave a place, to ditch a place. I said, that's really clever. So then she said, you should take a picture of that. And I did. And I posted it on my Instagram account and thought nothing more of it until I heard through her that people were saying it was some sort of a call for assassination, which is crazy. But I took it down. Even if I think it's crazy, I don't want to be associated with violence of any kind.
And then what happened?
I got a call from the Secret Service that night asking if I would speak to them about it. Of course. I admire the Secret Service. They're pros. I spoke to them on the phone. Then they asked the next day when I got home, would I be willing to come in and meet them in person at the Washington field office, which again, I did, and they were pros again. We were walking on the...
Okay. He's a great actor. He's good. He's good. And this is in my opinion. He's good. He's really, really good. Very good at this. Scary how good he is. But he's good at this. This was a good PR stunt for his book. It was. He got the attention of the nation for 2 weeks. Got us talking about it. Yep. Good little PR move for him. All right. Now, let's bring in, guys, the sitting. Let me say it again. The sitting FBI Director Kash Patel. He's going to talk about, because of Comey's actions, what it has caused. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Do you know how many copycats we've had to investigate as a result of that beachside venture from the former director?
Is that right?
Do you know how many agents I've had to take offline from chasing down child sex predators, fentanyl traffickers, terrorists? Because everywhere across this country, people are popping up on social media and think that a threat to the life of the president of the United States is a joke and they can do it because he did it. That's what I'm having to deal with every single day. And that's what I'm having to pull my agents and analysts off, because he thought it was funny to go out there and make a political statement.
Wow. So the FBI director is not a happy camper concerning what's going on at all. Uh, again, here's my thoughts concerning this whole thing with James Comey. Again, this was a great PR stunt for him. This boosted the sales for his book, which was his whole plan. That was his whole plan. Great plan. I got to give it to him. Kudos. Was anything he did was illegal? No, it wasn't. What was it? Was it a good PR move for him? Yes, it was. Phenomenal PR move for him. Did it cause a ruckus? Yes, it did. I don't think that was James Comey's desire. I think he knew what this was going to cause because he's a former FBI director, very smart man, knows the system very well. He knew this was going to happen, and he used that to his advantage. He prepared for the Secret Service interview on the phone and in person. So this for him was, I believe, it was fun for him. He enjoyed it, and I believe most likely his book sales soared. Great PR move. Do I agree with the tactic? No, but it was a great PR move for James Comey. It really was. It really was. Man, boy. Now, guys, let's dive into the next topic. Man, RG3 and Ryan Clark blow up on Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and RG3's wife. RG3 stands for Robert Griffin III, former NFL quarterback, former Heisman Trophy winner from Baylor University, stud of an athlete, has a wonderful wife, wonderful family as well. And of course, Ryan Clark, stud when it comes to football, stud. I think he's a phenomenal commentator on ESPN, very knowledgeable of the game, smart, business, and in the occupation, very articulate as well. Now, I like RG3's and his wife's podcast. Love that podcast. I follow it. Great podcast, and they'll do great work together. All right. Now, I believe RG3's wife was a former Olympian, I believe, in some country. I may be wrong, but I believe she was. But I think she was a superstar in that country. Now, this whole topic is really around Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, right? Well, what's going on here is Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, they are, I guess, rivals. I think rivals, so to speak. And so since they're rivals, of course, there's a lot of commentary. And it's really a rivalry that kind of bred in the NCAA tournament. And then it bled over to the WNBA, which I think WNBA should get behind that rivalry to make money. To be honest with you, that's the female version of Bird Magic, right? But at the exact same time, Caitlin Clark is a better player. This is hands down. She's a better player than Angel Reese. I know they play different positions, but butts in seats is because of Caitlin Clark, not Angel Reese. Period. And so that's driving a lot of this rivalry. And the media, they really made the rivalry. They did, and they began in the NCAA tournament. But let's go into this thing right now. Right now, we're going to listen to commentary from RG3 commenting on a specific play that actually happened between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Here we go.
Yo, welcome to Out of Pocket with RG3, hosted by your boy and the lovely, amazing, 99-time All-American Grete Griffin. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I just almost passed out. But we appreciate each and every one of you guys, all the Pocket Watchers out there. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you go find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe over there. Follow us. Leave some reviews. Leave some comments, because we need every single one of you Pocket Watchers to help take this bad boy to the moon. So like I said, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. So what are you waiting for? Take the mouse, move it on over to the subscribe button and click. Subscribe to our channel and let's get this thing rolling. Oh, like we always do, we're going to get right to the thick of it, like Kyle Lowry. All right, so this episode is all about Angel Reese and the fact that Angel Reese clearly hates Caitlin Clark. Let's dive in.
So right there is the the crutch of this entire blow up is RG3's comment talking about. Well, I'm sorry, it's the first portion of the blow up, right? It's the rhythm, the main foundation, but there's a variable that came in, and also what you'll see in a second. But RG3 believes that Angel Reese does not like or hates Caitlin Clark. But let's dive into it. Okay, ready. Okay, great.
Let me inform you about what happened. Caitlin Clark committed a hard foul on Angel Reese as she was wide open for a free, easy layup. Routine play. The type of play that every single one of us, every one of you that's watching, has heard your coach tell you, hey, we ain't gonna give them no easy points, no easy baskets, no easy baskets in the paint, baby. And then what do? You make sure that you go and you get a foul when you know that the offensive player has a free lane to the basket. Now, before I get to why Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark fully, let's talk about the play itself. The one thing people are not talking about on that play, which my wife so eloquently stated to me earlier.
Okay, right there. Here's the second variable, RG3's wife. Right? So he said that she actually had some commentary on the play as well. Let's unfold it.
Was that Caitlin Clark was actually reacting to a foul that should have been called on Angel Reese against Aaliyah Boston. Previously, when you see they cut off the play early, Angel Reese actually shoves Aaliyah Boston in the back to get a rebound. We've all played basketball. You know when you shove somebody in the back that the ref's going to blow the whistle and call the foul? Well, the ref didn't call the foul. So Caitlin Clark is sitting there with her hands up like, you're going to call that? So then, yes, she went and fouled Angel Reese to prevent her from having the easy basket. Okay. But Caitlin Clark actually fouled Angel Reese because she was trying to take up for her teammate, Aaliyah Boston. So I don't know why no one's even talking about that, but I do know why they're talking about the aftermath of the foul, which, by the way, was a routine, you got to make them earn it foul. It was not a flagrant foul with the intent to hurt somebody. And not only that, Angel Reese acted like she wanted to win an Oscar. I got nothing against any of these women's basketball players. They're all super talented. But if we're going to talk about them, we have to talk about them like we talk about any other sport, like the NBA. When we see a guy flop, we call it out. Angel Reese flopped on that play. But let's go ahead and talk about a tweet that I put out that went absolutely nuclear. So after watching the play, I tweeted out, after watching Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul on Angel Reese and the aftermath, there is no way Angel Reese can continue the lie that she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark. I know what hatred looks like. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Not some basketball rivalry hate either. Hate.
So
the reason
RG3 went a little bit deeper on the term hate, right? He said not some basketball type of hate. So he's bringing it now outside of basketball. Initially, his commentary was around the play, right? And it was, and I can see what he was talking about. I'm gonna show the play here in a second, guys. But he. Matter of fact, let's look at the play real quickly, guys. I'm gonna show you guys the play. This is the play that actually happened, real quickly, concerning Angel Reese. And here's the play, guys. I'm gonna talk you through it. Here we go. Here's the play. Now, watch this. This is in the middle of a game.
Watch out. Ow. Push. Hey, you just hit my teammate. Look, I know you're going to miss, but I'm going to foul you anyway. Ah! You messed up my weave. Hold up. I'm going to beat your ass. I've been waiting to fight you. Whoa. Calm down, Sharkeisha. Don't pull out the 9.
So there's a lot of commentary right there. That was a lot of commentary, but forget the commentary. You see what happened is RG3's his commentary concerning the foul itself was actually spot on. He was right on that one. But he went a little bit further and he said that, hey, Angel Reese hates. Let me say it again, hates Caitlin Clark, and they said not a basketball hater. Let's keep going real fast, and then we're gonna go to Ryan Clark.
Said that is because when somebody that you don't like says something to you, you automatically always take it to the most extreme. You always automatically say, oh, they meant to harm me with that statement. But if your friend or somebody you're cool with made that very same statement, none of us would be so quick to run to judgment to say, oh, that was negative. We would question what it was. We would react differently. So why do I think Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark? It could be the fact that Aaliyah Boston had to save Angel Reese from ending her career. This is a still shot. After the foul that Caitlin Clark put on Angel Reese tried to hit her. But if it wasn't for Aaliyah Boston putting her arms in the way, Angel Reese would not be playing basketball anymore because she was going to sucker punch Caitlin Clark. Now, you tell me a time when you've seen somebody get fouled on a basketball court in a professional league where they tried to almost sucker punch somebody that they were friends with.
So again, is RG3's commentary has bled outside of basketball now to how can I say it? Now to there's a feeling of just I don't like you, period. So it began in basketball, now it's bled outside. Now, he goes a little bit deeper, but now let's bring in Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark, what he did was he got wind of this commentary. And Ryan wanted to chime in on the brilliant show, The Pivot, right? So let's dive in this real quick. And he's he's reacting, to RG3's commentary on this entire situation. All right, here we go.
Exciting rivalry. We've talked about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese for so long. I hate the fact that they're always pinned against one another. RG3 called what Angel Reese did hate. He said you could see the hate on her face for Caitlin Clark. I'm not really sure when we moved in to being able to read the expressions of a person and know their intent, know their character, know their perspective. But he does understand hate because I think he also understands the hate of self. When you look at the play, which is all we can speak to as professionals, all we can speak to as analysts, Angel Reese pushed one of her teammates. Caitlin Clark had a hard foul, which is part of basketball. I feel like it was assessed correctly. And Angel Reese's reaction is the sort of reaction you get in a situation when you feel like you took an intentionally hard foul. That's competitiveness. That's rivalry. That's not hate. And so now, though, when RG3 jumps on to the hate train or to the angry train, and now follows along with what we saw from Keith Olbermann, what we saw from Dave Portnoy, as they poured on to Angel Reese to make her the villain in Caitlin Clark's heroic or hero story. Right. The one thing we know about—
Now, I was right there. I actually agree with Ryan Clark here. He's spot on. We just watched RG3. We just watched him. I don't think there was any ill will that RG3 actually had at all, period. And I don't think Ryan Clark is even talking about that in this right now. We're going to keep listening. And remember, there was another variable that actually came in, and it is detailed on the bottom of the screen, right? Remember that variable. Let's keep going. And now let's see what actually happens then. Here we go.
About RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what Black women have to endure in this country, about what young Black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlin Clark's rise and ascension into stardom. Now, when you look at it, I think A'ja Wilson is the face of the league. A'ja Wilson.
So now, then Ryan Clark, what he did was he then decided to bring in RG3's wife, right? Hence the commentary concerning, right, RG3 not having these type of conversations because his wife is white. But let's keep going. Let's see if it goes a little deeper. Here we go.
Wilson is the best player in the league. Caitlin Clark is the most important player in the WNBA. And a ton of her fandom has come along with some racial bias or some racial pieces to why people love her so much. And so now if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women.
Wow.
You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what Black women deal with, what they're seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese. And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back amening and clapping. And so to me, it's just another situation that now this young lady has to deal with. When I worked with RG3,
So now continuing, Ryan Clark really went in concerning the race of RG3's wife, not only his first marriage, but also the current marriage. And he has now bred race into a basketball situation. Right? The women not bringing this up. It's the media bringing the media because both RG3 and Ryan Clark are in the media. That right there, Ryan, was out. That right there, you had me until you wanted to bring in RG3's wife and his previous wife too, and making an accusation based on no information that you actually have at your disposal. You're not in that man's house. You don't know what the man's talking about. You have no clue. So all that's based on assumption. Even RG3, when it came to him saying that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, I know he could probably end up presenting some evidence, but that's still an assumption. So RG3 was off base at the exact same time. Now, let's keep it going, guys. Now, RG3 then responds to what we just heard Ryan Clark talk about. So let's hear RG3's response. Here we go.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy RG3, and I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys because there's been a lot of buzz, a lot of conversations about my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, which was purely based in basketball.
Stop right there.
But I think all of you know there's...
No, it was not. No, it's not. We just listened to that, RG3. You began with basketball, but then you clearly said that this is not like a basketball hate. So you began pretty good, but then you went out when you blurred outside of the basketball court lines. All right, let's keep going. Gotta be honest.
There's a line in life that you just simply don't cross. Wives and children are always off limits. And Ryan Clark has sprinted past that line. Ryan Clark didn't like my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. And that's fine. It's okay. It's part of the game. Sports media, I'm going to have an opinion. This person might not agree with it. That person might not agree with it. But what you don't do is turn around and personally attack me and my family
that I agree
just because you don't agree with a sports opinion that is purely based off the sport. I didn't make it personal.
I mean, I agree with you when it comes to Ryan Clark's commentary concerning your family. 1,000% RG3. And I agree with you that you didn't make it personal. I agree. We got to be honest. You bled outside of the lines a little bit when it came to it said it's not a basketball hate. Okay. Now it was in the confines of the basketball game, but the commentary didn't stay on the basketball court, just on the play itself. But let's keep going.
But what that really shows is just how low of a person Ryan Clark is.
Oh, wow.
So if you don't know, I gave a sports opinion stating that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark.
Wow.
And I based it purely off of her actions on the court and in press conferences. It wasn't just because of the hard flagrant foul in their opening game. I gave 5 examples that showcased Angel Reese's dislike for Caitlin Clark, because that's what I do. My job is to analyze sports, but I always make sure that I stay inside of the arena. I think this has to be said because a lot of what Ryan Clark said was so racially based,
He's right,
it
though.
was uncomfortable.
He right.
Just because Angel Reese is a black woman doesn't mean that a black man or a black woman who happens to be an analyst can't give their opinion on her game.
Yeah.
Just because Angel Reese is a black woman doesn't mean that a black man or a black woman cannot critique her game.
I agree.
To be quite frank, a black man or a black woman can critique anybody's game just the same as a white man or a white woman can critique anybody's game.
He's right.
Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, regardless of the color of skin that somebody is. And if you don't like that opinion, that's fine. But it shouldn't resort to personal attacks. I just believe we got to be better in this space, man.
I agree with that. I agree with you. I'll give that commentary. Great response. It wasn't peppered with any type of vitriol. It was nice and poised, which is good. A call to action to be better. That's great, man. So, hey, I give Ryan RG3 an A on his response. I really do. Now, Ryan Clark came in and he responded as well, guys. So, hey, we have to get both sides of the story the right way, right? All of it with no bent at all. Let's see what Ryan Clark has to say. Here we go.
Welcome to the pivot. I mean, a little bit ago, we started some different things, having pivotal conversations. I never thought that a transition into me having to have one by myself, about me, about things that I've said, and about things that have affected not only me, but others. Obviously, the talk of the week has been the back and forth between myself and RG3. All of it started over an Angel Reese take that he felt was a sports take that I didn't feel that way about. Okay. I felt it was away from the court. I felt that it was away from basketball. And because of the personal feelings I have about RG3, I took a take that was personal to another person and made it personal to myself. And I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have brought his wife into an equation, even though in my mind, before speaking about her, I processed as much as I possibly could to speak of her in a way that was positive, trying to make sure it only illustrated a point about the way that he approached Angel Reese. And in that, in some ways, and to some people, I probably missed the mark. I have a lot of experience with RG3. I know some things about him personally. I'm not going to say that we are close. I'm not going to say that we are friends. But those things already imprinted in my mind, those feelings, already things that have developed over our experiences together, over some things that he said to me, done to me, probably some things I've said to him, they played a part in how I felt. Now, he's done some things that I haven't commented on because I didn't want or need to attack him. And in this case, I wanted to defend a young black woman, which ended up being an attack on him. He felt, or at least he said, an attack on his family. And that was never the case or never the intent of mine.
Okay.
When I look back at this, I think a larger thing that has now happened is people who love and people who know me have now had to come to my defense because they know my heart, they know my actions, they know the intent of my words. By bringing in, maybe, I can't speak for these people, by speaking about RG's wife, it's now brought my family into the equation, or Bianca into the equation, or my children, Jordan, Logan, Jaden, into the equation. I certainly didn't want them to have to be sort of the casualties of my Twitter or my media wars. Bianca, in particular, has taken a lot of heat, has taken a lot of hate. All she's ever done is give her life to her family. All she's ever done is make sure all of our kids, yes, that includes Jaden and Jordan and Logan, had the best home life, the most present mother, the best provider, the best support system that they possibly could. And then after that, after taking care of that family for decades of her life, she's now moved on into getting a degree, getting a master's, starting a PhD program, and now working to counsel and take care of others. I don't think she deserves, she does not deserve the hate that she got because of me. To her, to my children, I am sorry. I have to start to think about how my words impact, who they impact, and the effect of the fallout on you guys. So that leads me to Greta Griffin. Let me say this before getting into reasoning, before getting into thought process. She should not have been brought up in me trying to make a point about how having Black women close to you and the things that you learn from them can help you in the way that you approach and speak to and about them. She didn't need to be the illustration of that. I could speak positively about what they are without making the insinuation that it's something that non-Black women don't do well. I'm doing the exact same thing, or it may have seemed that I did the exact same thing to her that I'm trying to keep people from doing to Black women. My thought process was...
So he goes on, guys. I gotta give both. Great work, Ryan. Phenomenal work, Ryan. Came in, he said it on camera, and so he actually apologized on camera. It wasn't in no written statement, not about it at all. And I like RG3, he responded as well also in the camera. So I would say both guys, hand clap of praise. Hand clap of praise on this. When it comes to what they're doing, what they did, there was a great thing that you guys have. And again, great. Yeah. Great work, guys. Yeah. A little know your clap for you guys. But great work, guys, on owning what the words that you said. Also asking for forgiveness, apologizing to your family and those that your words have wounded. Wonderful. Great work. Awesome work, guys. Awesome work. Good stuff, guys. We got to be better. And I'm talking to me too. We got to be better, guys. We got to be better. So great example, guys. Now, guys, let's get into a little bit of some business, a little bit, guys. Hey, guys. Yo, there's, Trump's big, beautiful tax bill has been is being rolled out right now as we speak right now. And people have been talking about it. So I thought that I'll bring it on real fast and talk about it, how it could affect personally, as well as from a business standpoint. All right, let's get into it. Let's dive into it.
During President Trump's first term, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was passed. This bill dramatically lowered taxes for millions of Americans. However, many provisions from this act are set to expire in 2025. Now, Republicans are rushing to get a new bill passed to extend the TCJA and other significant tax changes. Today, I'm going to be breaking down everything that you need to know about Trump's new bill called the Big Beautiful Bill. Yeah. Without further ado, let's dive in. All right, guys, here's the latest news. On April 10, 2025, the U.S. House of Representatives passed President Trump's budget resolution. Carlton, what is a budget resolution, you might be asking? A budget resolution is a non-binding framework that outlines federal spending and revenue targets over a specified period, typically 10 years. While it doesn't have the force of law, it sets the parameters for subsequent legislation. Importantly, it can include reconciliation instructions, which direct specific congressional committees to draft legislation that aligns with the budget's goals. So, getting Trump's resolution passed in the House was a major step towards turning the Big Beautiful Bill into the Big Beautiful Law. This resolution did not pass easily. In fact, every single Democrat in the House voted against it, and so did two Republicans, fiscal conservatives Thomas Massey of Kentucky and Victoria Spartz of Indiana.
Not surprised about Thomas Massey. He's a Hulk.
Republicans were concerned that the budget resolution did not reduce enough spending. This created drama during the voting process, which took significantly longer than expected. However, the budget proposal did end up passing in a 216 to 214 House vote. Speaking about the budget resolution passing, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson said, "I told you not to doubt us," expressing a high level of confidence about the ability of Republican leaders to get things done in Congress. Now, before I tell you what the next steps are for the big beautiful bill to become law, let's talk about what Trump and other Republican leaders are trying to accomplish with this bill. What will likely be in the Big Beautiful Bill? The Big Beautiful Bill represents a sweeping legislative effort backed by President Donald Trump and Republican lawmakers. It is projected that the bill will include multiple conservative objectives bundled into one major package that will serve as a central pillar of the GOP's legislative agenda. The bill has not been fully written yet, and there are likely to be a number of edits and changes once the original draft is written. However, here's what is likely to be in the bill on the budget proposal and Trump's various promises. Number one, a tax overhaul, a renewal of the 2017 Trump's tax cuts combined with fresh tax breaks such as exempting tips and Social Security benefits from taxation. Spending realignment, increased funding for the military and border infrastructure, offset by deep spending reductions, energy and environmental rollbacks, possible elimination of clean energy subsidies enacted under the Inflation Reduction Act, signaling a redirection in national energy priorities, border and immigration enforcement, enhanced funding for border security efforts, including renewed investment in wall construction and expanded detention operations. Although the passage of the budget resolution is a pivotal milestone, the border bill faces an uphill battle in Congress. Lawmakers remain divided over the scale of spending cuts and the fate of provisions like green energy incentives. Furthermore, reconciliation rules limit what can be included, extending measures lacking direct physical consequences. As Congress moves forward, more revisions and behind-the-scene bargaining are expected to help the bill get passed. So what does this all mean for you? Well, President Trump and GOP leaders are working hard to preserve the tax cuts that the American taxpayers have enjoyed since 2017. In case you didn't know, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act dramatically reduced tax rates in America across the board. Here is a look at what the tax rates were before and after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act went into effect. Before, we used to have a 10% tax bracket. After, we remained 10%. We used to have a 15, now that went to 12. We used to have a 25 that went to 22, a 28% that went to 24%, a 33% that went to 32%, a 35% that remained at 35%, and a 39.6% that dropped to a high level of 37%. As you can see, most of the tax rates dropped significantly. Many critics of President Trump said that he only lowered taxes for the rich. But you can tell just by looking at this chart that he also lowered taxes for low and middle income earners too. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act also lowered the corporate income tax rate from 35% down to 21%, and it boosted the standard deduction substantially. So, if the Big Beautiful Bill passes, then all of you watching this video will be able to keep the tax benefits you enjoyed from the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. However, if it doesn't pass, then you could soon be paying significantly higher taxes. Not every provision from the TCJA is set to expire, but many of the most important ones, such as the federal income tax rate reductions, are set to expire. So, for example, if you file as a single and if you make $100,000 in 2025, then the top federal income tax rate would be 22%. However, if the bill doesn't pass and if the tax cuts from the TCJA expire at the end of 2025, that rate could jump back up to 25%. This could cause you to pay significantly more in taxes every single year. So what is next for this bill? The bill now
So he went over that is a significant tax code, which is good. It's really a tax overhaul. So we're going to see how this kind of pans out. It's right now in the Senate. Right now, the Senate is looking at it right now, and so guys, we're going to see how all this goes. I think that I think that they could have went a little bit deeper for what I'm hearing about the bill on cutting spending, but it's Congress. They wouldn't have got anything passed without some pork in the bill. There's going to be some pork in the bill, of course. But all in all, there's a tax cut, and I like the fact that they're rolling back this clean energy stuff when it came to the Inflation Reduction Act, which is really Inflation Production Act that the Biden administration actually passed, guys. So I'm actually happy about that. Really good on that one. So, guys, that's good. Now, how will this? Now we talked about crypto. All right. Now I'm going to tie in real quickly right? This big, beautiful tax bill and cryptocurrency, right? Now, I've played a video for you guys in the past concerning what Trump is getting set up when it comes to cryptocurrency, right? He's essentially mimicking the financial system of the Federal Reserve, right? But in the crypto space is what he's doing. When it comes to making money on the Federal Reserve side, there's an security called an IOU that the Federal Reserve actually brings over to the Treasury. The Treasury then writes a check to pay for the IOU, right? And now presto, money's been made out of debt, right? Money is just debt. Now that money is flowed through the banking system, right? So therefore, that's how banks are able to fractionally reserve lend for every dollar you put into their bank. Excuse me. Whatever dollar you put into the bank, they can lend out 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x, if not even more. Okay, that's called fractionally reserve lending. Now, let's go over to cryptocurrency. Remember, President Trump and Fed Chairman Powell are at odds. Trump wants the rates cut. Fed Chairman is saying no, right? Now, Trump says, okay. The Fed Chairman says no because he wants to see more of some movement in the market, right? I'll comment on that most likely tomorrow on Real Estate Live. But Trump said, okay, you want to see some movement in the market? I got you. So what Trump did in the crypto space, he just carbon copied the Federal Reserve monetary system, meaning that he actually created two reserves for cryptocurrency, one for cryptocurrency itself and Bitcoin, two reserves, just like the Federal Reserve when it comes to fiat currency, right? And now get this, they're not creating new coins. They already have these coins already, whether it be crypto or Bitcoin. Now what they're doing, guys, is they are going to flow that through the banking system. It's already been done now, right? And the goal is to inflate the money supply without inflating the money supply by leveraging your Bitcoin. They don't want you to sell the Bitcoin. They want you to leverage it, create debt out of it. Remember, when the Federal Reserve goes over and gets an IOU and gets it to Treasury to actually cut a check, that's debt. The same thing is going to go on when it comes to cryptocurrency. They're wanting money to flow through the banks so that the consumers can leverage their Bitcoin, not sell it, debt being created, and go out and invest, go out and live. Trump has effectively increased the money supply without increasing the money supply, which will not cause inflation. Now, why is this so important from a crypto space? Very simple. Out of all of the cryptocurrency transactions done on the planet, on the globe, 95% are done with the US dollar. 95%. I'll go a little bit more on that tomorrow, but essentially, guys, what's realistically happening is he's trying to force Chairman Powell's hand. So you wanted to see this type of movement's here. Chairman Powell is now changed a lot of his wording or speeches talking about tariffs. I've never seen a Federal Reserve chairman talk so much. Never have until Chairman Powell. In this term, he ain't talked this much in Trump's first term. So again, Chairman Powell, stop being political. All right, let's go. I believe. Excuse me, guys. I believe, guys, that he could have cut it about a quarter here, quarter there, quarter here, just to give some confidence to the consumer market. But I believe he's being a little bit political here. I believe he is. No problem. No problem. Well, guys, now, to answer the question, how can mortgage rates be driven down? Great question. This is how. Remember on the cryptocurrency financial system that's mimicking the Federal Reserve System? Well, if the banks actually have the backing of the government via cryptocurrency, because they've blessed it now, right? And they can now monetize those coins that are coming in from their consumers, right? They can fractional reserve lend not only fiat currency from the Federal Reserve, but also Bitcoin. And it forces them to have to produce a better product because the cost of capital goes down. Now they got to compete. I mean, I like it because of the competition. I like challenges, but I would just say, brilliant move by President Trump. Brilliant move, guy. Brilliant move. Now, guys, I hope this was eventful. Now, I get asked all the time, guys, if someone could, I get asked, can you pick my brain concerning real estate or anything like that at all? Hey, guys, I'm on the app Minnect, right? Minnect. That's Patrick Bet David's app. Love it. You're welcome to scan the QR code or click on the link below in the description. If you want to ask me any questions concerning real estate, business, finance, life, marriage, holler at your partner. All right, there. Scan on the QR code or click on the link below in the description section. All right, guys, and you'll talk to me. All right. Number 2, guys. Also, the Stress Property Investing. We are giving away this book. Don't want nothing from me at all. I tell everybody, when it comes to real estate, you make money when you acquire, not when you sell. Right? When you acquire, not when you sell. So how do you acquire right? You learn how to buy distressed properties. Right? So this book gives you a blueprint. It's free. Don't want nothing from me at all. Scan on the QR code right there, or click on the link below in the description section below, and you'll be able to get the book. It's free. Don't cost nothing from you at all. We want to give you the information so you can go out and find those properties in your city, county, or state. All right. And then lastly, guys, man, forgive me. And if you cannot do any one of those things on the platform that you're on, don't you worry about your partner got you. DM me the word, direct message me the word real estate, not in the chat. Literally direct message me the word real estate, and my team will get you out the link tonight. And you can go download it free. It's all you. All right. So don't want nothing from you at all. Just want to give you value. All right. Well, guys, man, I hope this was eventful. It was eventful for me. I liked it. And because you can tell I am tired, my Lord. But forgive me. Tomorrow, guys, Real Estate Friday Live. Your partner Cliff and I are going to be on talking about real estate, baby. We're going to probably spend some time tomorrow on lenders. On lenders, guys. How to know what lender to choose. All right. But here is a little bit of a straight sneak peek of what we talk about on Real Estate Live, guys. It's free. It's at 5 p.m. CST on all platforms, guys. Let's see what you got. What the main clips talk about. Here we go.
What's good, baby? It's your boy Dale. I'm back in the saddle again. Our motto is to buy, build. We already bought it already, so we already own it, free and clear. Refinance to long-term debt, cash flow. That is the motto. Cliff, man, is that a pretty strong motto, man? What do you think?
Man, the model is strong. Like, you're getting each piece of the invest, right?
All right, guys. Real Estate Friday Live, Cliff and I, tomorrow at 5 p.m. CST on this channel. Come check us out. Learn a little something about the market, about what's going on politically, guys, and what strategy you can use today to be able to change your life, guys. But, guys, thank you so much for your time. God bless you. You know I end it every single time we do, guys. Before you leave and while you can, you see that thing, baby. Take a picture for your mom and them. Holler at you about that. God bless you, guys. See you next time, guys. All right, y'all. Peace.
Okay, so you did fixes and flips first, or were they? Now it sounds like you're more buy and hold. Okay, so you're wholesaling first. Okay,
because I was broke. I had no credit, I had no money, so I had to get some money coming in. So I learned how to do wholesale.
And you were doing wholesaling at the good time too.
2000.
When it wasn't so saturated. There was.
I kind of saw the debacle coming. Okay, it didn't make any sense. I was like, wait a minute, how can you lend out to retail buyers 99.7%?
Yeah,
just a little bit of a down tick. It's insolvent.
And you got to remember, in some states, because I lived in Florida at the time, you could have loan to value above 100% of your property.
Right.
The first property that I bought, it was 110%. We left the bank with like $30,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was amazing to me. I was like, why am I not doing this all the time? But then clearly 08, 09 let me know why people shouldn't have been doing that all the time.
08, 09, that's why I made that lion's share of my money.
Wow.
People were
Okay.
actually running from the cows. I was running to it.
Of course.
Because I saw it was coming.
Okay.
A lot of my business colleagues back then were buying flippers.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was wise for me to share 50% of my profit with Uncle Sam. He didn't do no work.
Okay.
So why would I give him free money?
Of course. Of course.
I said,
Of course.
okay, how can I make sure I'm still legal, but keep the lion's share of the cash flow?
Of course.
So I began studying the tax code with my accountants and CPAs, and I said, okay, I'm going to buy a whole lot of properties. Now watch this. I actually buy a lot of properties. And I take home money when I actually acquire it. Every single time.
Okay, you need to break that down just a little bit.
If you wanted to know how successful real estate investors make money when they acquire real estate and not when they sell it, click on the link below or swipe up and download our free ebook, Distressed Property Investing. The blueprint is in the ebook. Stay blessed, holla at your partner, and download the ebook today.